Well, I saw something similar. When I first went to the government, I worked at NIH for about a year. And of course, then I got a job at the Veterans Administration Hospital in Martinsburg. And commuted and all like that all of those years, back and forth to Martinsburg. And then I was applied and was accepted into uh, personnel management training. In other words, you're in personnel. Now, when I first got out of college, I had majored in zoology, and I worked at NIH, which is strictly research. So I thought I was doing pretty good. I was working in one of the institutes down there, and as you know, NIH is a premier medical research facility in the United States at that particular time. And I thought I was doing a pretty good job. Well, I went on to Martinsburg and stayed there about 15 years, and then I got into personnel management training. And it was real interesting. I liked it. I went to Pittsburgh, and I trained up there. And after I finished the personnel training, they asked me where I wanted to go, and they had 3 or 4 openings. I think one was out in I think South Dakota, at a VA hospital, and I said no, I didn't want to go there. So there was also an opening in Baltimore, the Baltimore VA hospital. So kind of happy about that because I was very, very close to home. So I told them I'd like to go to Baltimore. So was interviewed and everything and assigned to Baltimore VA hospital. So as you know, those files, those uh, there was a little file within your personnel folder
Mm-hmm.
that they kept everything in, all sensitive stuff. So here I was, a new personnel management specialist in Baltimore. So that gave me access to, of course, everybody's personnel files. So I didn't pay no whole lot of attention to the personnel files except just to look at them and do whatever I had to do in personnel. So one day I said, well, here's my file. Let me look and see what's in my file, since I had access to everything, as did every person in the personnel office. So I looked in there, and I got the shock of my life too.
Yeah.
Yeah, what had happened was when I worked at NIH, there was one of the scientists, a medical doctor, one of the scientists. Uh, of course, they have to give you performance appraisals, or they have to put certain things in your folder, and at the end of whatever job you're on, whatever facility you're at, I think you'd get probably an exit report or whatever to be placed in that folder. So I looked in this folder, uh, and I got, like I said, the shock of my life. This doctor had graduated, got his medical degree from Johns Hopkins University, one of the top men in his field. Now, just keep in mind, this is Johns Hopkins University Medical School in Baltimore. I started reading what he had said about me because he was my uh, supervisor when I worked at NIH. And I couldn't believe it. I had to keep on reading it. So, anyway, he had said, they called me Jim, said Jim probably, he's a hard worker, but he probably won't be able to develop into uh, a better worker because he graduated from a black college.
I have a dog on.
that shocked me like I don't know what. Of course, I never questioned him about that because I was in Baltimore then. Of course, he was still at NIH, I guess. But he had minimized my education because I graduated from West Virginia State College. And here at West Virginia State College is one of the premier institutions in the United States. A lot of its programs were well known throughout the United States. And they had graduated, I think, more black generals than many of the land grant colleges in the United States. But anyway, he said the training I got there was insufficient and I probably wouldn't go far. So that shocked me, and it also told me that despite what education you might have, there's still that vein of racism that goes through the whole thing. So that could have prevented me from doing anything, getting higher level positions. It could have just kept me in a certain spot for years and years. But I'm glad that I finally went ahead and got into my, folder and was able to find out what he had said about me. So from that day on, I was very, very aware of what people said about you, the reports about you, things like that.
That probably held you back through all the years, too. People did that thing and some come up and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was doing my job, and he had already said, he hard worker, it can depend on him and everything. But the mere fact that I graduated from a black college, he said this would stump my advancement. So, and I had thought quite a bit of this man because he, never exhibited any racist tendencies or anything else. But that taught me a lesson that despite whatever your educational level might be in the United States, you can still be as racist as Ku Klux Klan.